All brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, with Showdown Promotions in association with Don Chargan and Paco Presents. All tonight's bouts are brought to you by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, Hennessy, never stop, never settle, and 4. And now, fight fans, we are set to go with this bout, 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Your 3 judges scoring at ringside are Chris Flores, Rocky Taylor, and Roger Woods. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Tony Zano. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in the flag of Mexico, green, white, and red. He weighed in officially 129.5 pounds, and in 23 professional bouts holds a record of 17 victories, 4 defeats, 2 draws, and 12 wins, coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Nogales, Mexico, el Guru, Jesús Serrano. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears red with black. He weighed in 129.5 pounds as well. His professional record in 10 bouts stands perfect with 10 victories and no defeats, 4 wins by way of knockout. Hailing from San Antonio, Texas, here is the undefeated El Finito, Hector Tanajara Jr.
Right here. Boxer in chief second. Boxer in chief second. We went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Boxeo limpio. Proteste todo el tiempo. Protect yourselves at all times and obey my commands. Obedézcame todo el tiempo. Toca los guantes. Buena suerte los dos. Give them hell at the bell.
All right, a very good evening to you all. I'm Bernardo Osuna, and tonight I'm very happy to be joined by a man you know well as a trainer to champions and future prospects who we showcase here on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. He is Joel Diaz. Joel, very happy to have you here. What do you expect from Finito Tanajara, a young prospect who's tall, but he's facing Jesus Serrano, who's beaten 3 undefeated fighters? He should be no easy task.
It's not an easy task. As you can see, Hector Tanajara has only 4 knockouts, and as you see, Jesus Serrano has more knockouts than he has fights. So we expect a great fight, and we're going to see. This is a test for Hector. You know, hopefully he fights a smart fight tonight.
You know, Tanajara has been the distance recently quite often, and he says that that's given him the opportunity to know that he can dig deep, push when he has to push, and he knows that he can get better as the rounds go on, and this is a scheduled 8-rounder, so it should be good for him. But he said if he sees the opening, he's going to try to take it.
He's a smart fighter. He's a smart fighter in every way. We've seen him in action before. He's gone down, he gets up, and he still comes back strong and wins fights. So hopefully tonight he establishes a good distance. Hopefully he uses his reach, his height, and fights a great, good, smart fight.
You're talking about Daniel Perales, who dropped him with a left hook in round 2 on the inaugural Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN fight card on March 23rd. And he was able to come back and get the victory. Since then, he also beat Daniel Bastian and Edward Reyes. Those were both decision wins as well. So that punching power has not been as evident. He says, I've been matched tougher. You know, the opponents and the styles make for the fights. And here we saw how Jesus Serrano switched southpaw momentarily, and that's something you want to do against the young fighters. You know, give them different angles, give them different looks.
It's dangerous when you got a fighter like Serrano in front of you. It makes those switches because you can clash ahead. You know, accidents happen, and especially when you're a little bit uncoordinated in there. You walk in, as you're moving back, you switch stands, accidents happen. So hopefully after this round, Hector can start measuring them and start picking them using his jab.
So Tanajara with a perfect record as a pro, but Jesus Serrano has 9 consecutive victories, including an upset over Marco Antonio Hernandez, who was 11-0 when he stepped into the ring last May 13th. Vincent Jennings in June of 2015, and Victor Mendez. They're the 3 undefeated fighters that he's beaten in his 4-year pro career that spans 23 fights.
Keep him up.
We know that Serrano is not an easy fight for Tanajara. You know, even he said it. He fights for his son, who motivates him. He's hungry. You know, he already beat a prospect, and for him, you know, being here, he's looking for another win against an undefeated prospect, which is Tanajara.
25 seconds here left in round number 1. A lot to be said here between these two fighters still, because they understand that there is a lot at stake. Finito Tanajara looking to remain unbeaten as a professional, and Jesus Serrano looking to continue his 10-fight weight streak. All right, I'm joined by Joel Diaz on tonight's broadcast, and tonight's main event features Jesus Soto Caras, a true warrior. And Joel, you have lived the situation of the last fight both as a fighter and as a trainer. What do you think Soto Caras' mindset is going to be?
Well, I think it already crossed his mind. I think tonight his mentality is he has nothing to lose. He's had a process of losing weight for every fight, so I just think he's tired.
He's tired. He said, you know, he told his wife, I'm just tired of making weight. She says, yeah, the problem is once you get into the ring, you get reinvigorated, you get re-energized. So he says the end is near, but if he has a good performance, you don't know what's going to happen with him.
Well, yeah, you know, he's a fighter, and he might say, okay, I can make another comeback. But it's just the instinct of a fighter, you know. He could still come back, who knows, after tonight.
All right, we'll see what kind of performance he says. I know I'm not going to be a Hall of Famer. I know I'm not going to win a championship, but the fans, they all know what they get when I step into the ring, and that is the war. That's the mentality of Jesus Soto Caras as he gets ready to step into the ring in our main event tonight. But before that happens, we also have King Ryan Garcia, who will be in a scrap against Cesar Valenzuela. He said, I hope he can go some rounds with me, because last time we saw Ryan Garcia, he lasted 30 rounds, or his opponent, Carrizosa, just lasted 30 rounds. So he actually wants the ESPN fans to see him beyond the SportsCenter top 10. He wants him to enjoy what he can do, his development, his adjustments. And right now, it's Tanajara Jr. who needs to make some adjustments, because Jesus Serrano is proven to be a tough customer here early in this fight. But he's not losing his poise. He's very calm. He's got a great corner in Robert Garcia, out there working in Riverside, California. And Robert said he's disciplined, and there we have a trip. That can happen with the right and the southpaw stance. But, you know, I was talking about his poise. What do you see in Tanajara so far?
Well, right now, Tanajara has a strategy now. But he's too flat-footed. That's what you don't want against an opponent like Serrano. You gotta move. You know, you gotta make him think. You can't just stay right there. You can't plant yourself and just wait for him to throw. You gotta move around, jab, you know, start bringing his defense down slowly. Make him make mistakes. You know, in the southpaw stance, he needs to unload that right hand down the middle, and overhand right. You know, shoot the right hand a little more. Now that he switched right-handed, so now start establishing the jab. But you cannot be too flat-footed against a guy like this, because he comes in, he steps in and he steps out. You need to keep moving. Use the ring. It's all yours.
Could it be the fact that Tanajara hasn't had a knockout in a while, and he wants to sit on his punches and maybe generate a lot more power?
It could be that he's looking for the knockout. He landed a good straight right hand right there. Like I told you, once they switch stance in the southpaw stance, your right hand is very effective, and he needs to let it go a little more. For example, there we go again.
And now we see Serrano back in the southpaw stance. Kind of goes in the middle, then he'll switch over to the orthodox stance. So trying to give Tanajara Jr. a lot of different looks, but you know, Tanajara talked about the experience of his opponent. Big right hand there from Finito Tanajara on the counter punch, as he made Serrano miss, and then he made him pay. He's got 125 amateur bouts with 150 wins, so he's used to facing all types of styles.
Yeah, he's seen it all. In the amateurs, you face every style. And tonight, I don't think this is new to him. He needs to keep applying that right hand. The right hand, but once in a while, shoot the left hand to the body. He needs to work the body as well. Don't just look for the right hand and stay there. Serrano slowed down by now. He felt some power on Tanajara, so now he's thinking about it.
Now he's trying to lunge in, is Serrano, as Tanajara working the distance well. He's got a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. So far, making good use of that is Hector Finito Tanajara, a proud fighter out of San Antonio, Texas.
Stop at the bell.
Canelo, be bold! Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Good there. face.
Be bolder.
Tecate Light. Born bold. When you have something you love, you want to protect it. At LegalZoom, our network of attorneys can help you every step of the way with an estate plan including wills or a living trust that grows along with you and your family. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
Cuidado ahí, que no te toque, porque si te toca pueden contarla como caída. Abierto, ¿ves?
Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. And it's brought to you by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. And by Thor Ragnarok, in theaters everywhere tomorrow. All right, ready for round two alongside Joel Diaz. I'm Bernardo Osuna. We heard the instructions from Robert Garcia. He wants him to be consistent. He wants him to use his jab. You guys didn't hear it at home, but we heard it here. What'd you think of Robert Garcia's instructions for Tanajara?
They're great instructions. He told them, when you throw the right, don't stay there too long, because he's trying to counter you. And you know he's watching from the corner. He's watching Serrano, so he's making his adjustments at the same time. And told him, when you throw the right hand, don't just throw the right hand by itself. Follow it up with a left hook to the body, and he needs to do it.
Let him out.
And you see the right hand and the uppercut from Benito Tanajara, and as soon as Serrano feels that punch, he throws an overhand right. Nice uppercut there from Tanajara Jr.
Stop. Watch your head.
One thing about Tanajara, on the exchanges, he pulls back, and you don't want to do that against a fighter that throws punches from different angles.
You know, he talked about being a boxing historian, and Tanajara said, I know about the history of the great San Antonio champions like Roberto Piquín Quiroga, Jesse James Leija, Magic Johnson. He said there's a lot of great tradition out of San Antonio, and he wants to be not only the next great fighter out of San Antonio, but he wants to be a champion that wins multiple titles. So the dream is there, the possibility is there, but he's got to get away from those punches.
Yeah, he's opening up a little bit too much, and especially in the short distance. You can't do that. You got to use your reach. He's taller. He needs to establish his distance, and as soon as Serrano steps in, you need to slide back a little bit with your back foot and shoot that right, especially when he's standing on the southpaw stance.
The fact that you mentioned he's very flat-footed, does that not allow him to step back as quickly as you would like?
Oh, it looks like he's trying too hard for that knockout. It's just, you mentioned it earlier, but he needs to move a little bit with his height and his distance. He can box and break down Serrano slowly, but he's just standing there, and when he pulls back, he's leaning back instead of sliding back.
Right there, he leaned back and caught Serrano coming in with a nice overhand right. Serrano telegraphing that jab there. He catches Benito Tanajara with a nice short right hand, but Tanajara comes back with that right of his own. Nice. When he's against the ropes, that's what Tanajara does his best work.
Yeah, he needs to keep him on the ropes. And when you keep him on the ropes, you're moving a little bit more to the side. You need to maintain him in the ropes. Cut the corners, cut the ring, and maintain him there. Don't forget that Serrano was supposed to fight Gamins.
Genaro Gamins, yes.
So he
stepped in.
Yeah, so he made some adjustments because of the height.
Forearm. Go box.
Tonight, Thor Ragnarok is a blast from start to finish.
It's main event time.
Yes! It's a triumph, an absolute riot.
Get inside!
In a minute!
I want to get a closer look at this.
It's spectacular. Thor Ragnarok is the boldest, most fun Marvel film yet.
Biggest muscle in the body.
I've got lots of muscles, so technically more brains.
Thor Ragnarok, rated PG-13. Be the first to see it tonight.
When I got to be 50, my doctor told me that an aging prostate often causes frequent urination day and night. He suggested Urinezinc. Supports a healthy, normal prostate. That can mean less frequency day and night. Take Urinezinc and take care.
Bernardo Osuna alongside Joel Diaz. And Joel, What would your instructions have been, and what did you hear from Robert Garcia in that corner?
I heard some good instructions, and, I mentioned it to you during the round. When he's coming forward, use your height, use your reach, step back and counter. But at the same time, don't walk straight back. When he's rushing you back, don't walk straight back because you get into problems, for example, there. You gotta get angles. You gotta get angles. Once in a while, you gotta apply some pressure.
Now, that's a bad habit. He's catching Serrano coming in with the uppercut, but there, he stayed there too long, and he's doing some things right, but he continues to make the same mistakes that a fighter with a better pedigree is going to make you pay for. And Tanajara, he's getting into a war against his opponent. He gets caught with a nice right hand there from Serrano, and this is turning into a shootout, and that's exactly what Serrano would want.
That's Serrano's fight, an inside fight. They already saw in Robert, and Robert himself saw that Serrano's throwing a wild left hook and a wild right hook. Tanajara, at times, he drops his defense, and that's dangerous because he can get caught in the exchange.
Serrano is from Nogales, which is just about 90 minutes away from here, 90 kilometers away. And he said, I come from Nogales. It's a land of champions. That's where Oscar Valdez is from, Destroyer Lopez. And I train with Cidi Salido. And you could see that sparring with Cidi Salido, you really have to be a warrior to be able to hang in there. Those ring wars inside the gym as he gets caught with a nice jab. He knows how to take a punch, and he knows what it takes to win.
Yeah, when you're in the ring, when you're in the gym with these champions, high-caliber fighters, obviously, it elevates your confidence. And you step in the ring, and you say, I've sparred. I've been in the ring with Cidi Salido. You're not comparing to him. But right here, you got a Tanajara, a young fighter, a hungry fighter that wants to establish a career for himself and be known in San Antonio, Texas as one of the best fighters.
Tanajara said that he was happy to be on ESPN because he wasn't supposed to be on the televised portion of the card. And so he said, you always have to stay ready, and my teammate Genaro Gámez couldn't make it due to weight issues, and you always have to be ready. I have to take advantage of this opportunity. But also Serrano told us in the fighter meetings, I'm very proud and that I've accomplished this because I never dreamed that I'd be fighting on TV on ESPN. So I want to make my son proud, I want to make my family proud, and all those people who have supported me over the years. So there's a lot at stake here for Serrano as well in terms of if he can upset Tanajara, that puts him on the map.
Yeah, he even mentioned promoters. I want to make the promoters proud with my performance. And tonight he's fighting really hard. But now I can see Tanajara now dominating. He already got a mode where he's dominating the fight.
Su Serrano committed, and so did Finito Tanajara, and Hector Tanajara was not only quicker to the punch, but also solid with that uppercut. And in the corner, Robert Garcia was saying, I don't want you to exchange punches with him. I want you to use your boxing skills, use your length. And you mentioned the fact that Tanajara was getting into a rhythm where he was getting comfortable. And if he continues to command the range, he can make this an easy fight for him. But I'm sure Serrano's got other ideas.
Yeah, Robert told him, you got to throw more jabs. You got to give me as many jabs as you can, which means you have to set your distance. Use your distance before he steps in. Beautiful right uppercut right there by Tanajara that lands clear.
And I don't understand why fighters don't use the uppercut more often. It seems like it's a punch that is available when, a come-forward fighter like Serrano just puts his head down and comes right at you. We've seen Tanajara use it on several occasions here, but, now it was a push and a punch. We'll have to take a look at it eventually when we get a break, but there was also some footwork there that caused the trip. Just when Tanajara was looking at his best, Serrano gives him the scare.
Yeah, it was probably just a punch that they hit the glove with the motion going that way, and he just went down. But I don't think it was a flesh punch.
Tanajara looking to walk down Serrano. And he can afford to wait for him. Nice overhand right. Clips it with a glove a little bit now. A body shot from Finito Tanajara, and Serrano comes on the attack on the counter.
Let him go. Break.
See, we see Hector Tanajara landing that nice right hand, but he's not following with the left to the body. He needs to apply that left hook to the body every time he throws that right hand. There we go.
Tanajara trying to catch Serrano with the uppercut, and now Serrano tries to catch Tanajara with the uppercut, but nice defensive work, the basket defense from Tanajara. Nogales is what people are yelling here.
You know, sometimes a lot of people don't know, a lot of the fans, the people watching the fight, they don't understand that maybe Tanajara trains, and maybe all his sparring in camp was just with right-handers. And, you know, coming into the fight, Serrano switches left hand. It makes it a little difficult for him to make adjustments.
Nice left hook there from Serrano, precisely from the southpaw stance. And remember, we do have that knockdown that wasn't counted as an official knockdown. We'll have to take a look at that and see if it should be a 10-8 round for Serrano when we return.
Coming off a statement win, you either build on the momentum or watch your playoff hopes fade to black.
To the untrained, it appears as chaos. But here, there is only mastery. A creation so complex, only few can reveal it. Through mastery comes harmony. Hennessy VSOP privilege. Never stop. Never settle.
Together, we Black Friday in a big way. We get the brands we know best with the features that work the smartest so we can make our holidays the most memorable. Get the lowest prices of the year with 40% off major appliances like the Samsung laundry pair, only at the Home Depot.
Serrano put Hector Tanajara Jr. on the canvas. The question here, Joel, should it have been a knockdown?
No, because his foundation wasn't solid, and then it was more like a push.
I'll take another look at it from the other angle.
Yeah, he tried to throw a left hook with the motion of the punch, and he was just standing on, he was on off balance.
All right, so Finito Tanajara then did not go down officially, as Tony Zaino called it properly, but the frustration from the corner of Serrano, as they believe that it should have been a 10-8 round for their fighter, at least a 9-9 round if you take away the point for a potential knockdown in a round that I saw Finito Tanajara win, although he takes a nice body shot here in round number 6.
Yeah, you can see Serrano is frustrated now. He's throwing those haymakers from every angle. He's looking for that one punch that can hurt Tanajara. So at this point, Tanajara needs to be smart and keep his defense up and don't pull back, because those over lefts can catch him on the way out and it can really hurt him.
So Tanajara Jr. has 4 decisions in a row, hoping not to make it 5, but Serrano is a tough cookie coming off of a 9-fight win streak, switching from the southpaw stance to the orthodox stance or vice versa, trying to complicate things, gives Tanajara different angles. Tanajara steps on the foot of his opponent, but just a very tactical fight from Finito Tanajara, who now seems to have changed his strategy. He's not going for the knockout as much as he was earlier, and he's not as flat-footed.
That's what he should have done from the beginning. From the beginning, he should have, boxed Serrano, pick him on the way in and start. You gotta make your opponents make mistakes. You gotta make them commit, especially when they lunge. When they lunge, all you have to do is slide back a little bit, catch him on the way in. Like, for example, there, if he lunges in, you gotta just slide back, catch him with a right uppercut or a left hook as they come in. You catch him.
Let him out. Let him out.
Serrano looking to tie up a lot more here in round number 6 of a scheduled 8-rounder. This is the first time that Hector Finito Tanajara has been scheduled for 8 rounds.
There Serrano lands an overhand right, like I told you. Tanajara pulls back. Another thing, like I mentioned earlier, maybe Tanajara didn't get any sparring with lefties in camp, because when you spar lefty, you need to move to his left, and he's in front of him. He got caught right there with 2 nice shots.
Again, we talked about him going down earlier this year against Daniel Perales on March 23rd, came away with a victory. But nonetheless, that's not something that Robert Garcia wants to contend with, the fact that Tanajara Jr. can go down. So Tanajara needs to be a lot more careful, confident in his skills, and use his physical advantages. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage, a 3-inch height advantage, and Serrano seems to be wearing him down here in round number 6.
Now we see this is part of Tanajara's development. With time, he needs to learn not to pull back, especially right there. Pulling back, it's a mistake, and he needs to correct that with his time.
Well, you get an opponent with a lot more power, a lot more experience, and that could change the fight completely. A combination like that against an elite puncher, which Jesus Serrano is not. He's got 12 knockouts and 17 wins as a professional, but nonetheless, you know, he's not a big puncher, and neither is Tanajara. But those are the small details that you have to work on in the gym, and I'm sure Robert Garcia, when he sees this fight, is going to actually walk right through that combination and say, you got to tighten that up.
Exactly, and those things we correct in the gym. We tell them not to do them because you remind them, and you don't want to tell them, I told you in the gym. You need to correct those in the gym before you get to a fight.
All right, let's take a look at the total punches so far through the first 6 rounds of this fight. Tanajara landed 33 more punches than his opponent and has thrown over 300 punches at a 29% clip. So he's a more efficient fighter. He's also the more offensive fighter. That looks good in terms of number, and it's looking good so far in terms of how he's taking control of this fight.
He's in the last 2 rounds of the fight, so now if he did the best he could to try to knock out Serrano, and he didn't come through with it, what he needs to do is now be smart. Box around, use the ring, and try to protect himself a little more. Keep his hands up, you know, counter, set nice shots, and use the ring wisely. Don't get in there and try to risk Serrano landing a good shot.
You know, and he got away from those uppercuts that he set a beautiful trap with in round number 4. And now we're in round number 7, and it's a completely different fight. Nice uppercut there from Jesus Serrano. And, you know, when you get a veteran fighter like Serrano in there who's got more experience, and he's not really a huge veteran. He's got 23 professional fights, but he knows what he's doing when he's in the ring.
Exactly, and right now on southpaw stance, Tanajara should be moving this way instead of moving into Serrano's left. That's what at times he gets caught with the left hand. If you move to your left, he won't find you with his left.
Break, step back.
You know, but you mentioned one thing: sparring against orthodox fighters, and even though he's got a great amateur pedigree of 125 fights, nonetheless, it's how you train that you fight. So all those little details that end up making a big difference once you step into the ring. And the fact that, hey, Jesus Serrano is a live underdog in there. You know, he's won 9 fights in a row, and Tanajara knew that he was going to be in for a tough fight, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far here through 7 rounds as we await round number 8. And we'll see what the instructions are for Finito Tanajara. We're going to stay here with our Hennessy corner cam. Never stop, never settle.
El último round ya, el último round,
Bien cerra en vivo,
Nomás no lo regale,
Hey, don't give this round away.
Tiene que ganarlo, ¿ok?
You have to win this.
Nomás no se me confíe, no me
Don't get overconfident, don't make mistakes.
Yeah, he knows he's got to win by knockout. So you got to beat him to that, all right? Beat him to the punch. Beat him to the punch. Stay tight, but beat him to the punch, all right? Give me those combinations, 3-punch combinations. All right? Not just one punch at a time, all right? Give me those combinations.
You're throwing your overhand right a little bit too high. Bring it down.
Keep using that jab.
And don't stop using that left.
Double it up. Jab. 1, 2. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. All right? Boom, boom. Over, no, arriba, abajo. Boom. La derecha, abajo. Le pegó muy bonito. Boom. And back to the jab. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. All right? Let's go. Okay?
All right, Joel, the instructions from Robert Garcia couldn't be any clearer.
He told him the right thing. He told him, you know, he's going to come in looking for the knockout, so don't give him that edge. You know, you have to win this round. Obviously, he let him know you're winning the fight. The only way he'll win this fight is by knocking you out. So don't give him that chance.
Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
Uppercut there from Jesus Serrano, who, if Hector Tanajara Jr. is going to give up that distance, is going to try to take advantage of that.
Let him out. Break. Stop. Break.
You hear the fans yelling Nogales, Nogales, about 90 kilometers away from Tucson, Arizona, is the border town of Nogales, Sonora, the hometown of Oscar Valdez, and they love their warrior. Jesus Serrano.
He sure is a warrior. He's looking for that knockout in this last round. That's his only chance. Going back to Tanajara, getting that proper work in camp for this fight. Remember, he was a replacement. He was a replacement for Genaro Gomez.
But he was preparing for this fight, so the opponent was replaced. But he was preparing to fight on this card, but not on television. So Tanajara wanted to make the best of this opportunity. Nice body shot from Finito Tanajara in the red and black trunks. This kid is a really good prospect. He's being worked by Robert Garcia in Riverside, California. His father also works with him, Hector Tanajara Sr. And they know that they've got a young jewel. They just want to polish him up properly. And there's a lot to work with, but there's a lot to work on as well, Joel.
You never stop learning in this business. In boxing, you never stop learning. Every day is a different day, and all you have to do is just get better at what you do, get better at your craft. You see Tanajara landed 2 straight right hands and forgets to go to the body with the left.
Went to the chin with that nice left hook. Now using the jab a lot better here in round number 8 per the instructions of Robert Garcia, but he gets caught with that short uppercut from Serrano, who wants to keep him at that short distance and not allow him to use his height and reach to his advantage.
Every fight is an experience for these young guys. Obviously, he needs to mature a little more. He's new in this business, in the professional business. Even though they have a big amateur background, I mean, going into the professional business, I mean, they still have a lot to learn. They're in the learning process, and every fight is an experience. Maturity comes later. Right now, it's a learning process. They get to go back to the gym and correct a lot of the mistakes they do.
Let him go.
20 years old. He's also going to get his mentoring, in the near future. Serrano's a 25-year-old guy who's been in match tough, so he's used to this. But Finito Tanajara now looking to just box. He needs to close the show here and take advantage of this opportunity to shine here on ESPN. Because Golden Boy Boxing gave him this chance. And it's Serrano who wants to finish strong and get another shot to fight on television. He said he wanted to make his son proud. He did just that here, battling Hector Finito Tanajara. The fans are happy, they're content, and we'll see who comes away with the decision. Will it be Tanajara Jr. or will it be Jesus Serrano in Tucson? 23% of his jabs. He threw almost 200 of them, and he also almost threw 200 power punches. So, look good. We'll see if the cards reflect that with Joe Martinez in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. The totals: Rocky Taylor, Roger Woods, both have it 80-72. Chris Flores has it 79-73. All for your winner by unanimous decision. He is still undefeated, Hector El Finito Tanajara Jr.
For what it's worth, I had it 78-74. I gave Serrano a lot more credit than the judges did, Juan.
I know. He did a lot better than that.
But nonetheless, I think this will be a great learning experience for Hector Tanajara Jr., who improves to 11-0. That is 5 straight decisions for him.